What is going on, guys? Super excited about today's Rewind Biz Talk. This is about finding inspiration with holidays around the corner. I think this is going to be a really good one to watch. Hope you enjoy.
Today we've got a special episode of the Biz Talk coming to you from Dubai. We're making it work. However, we got to make it work. Today's topic is going to be on inspiration and where it comes from. I've got two nail artists sitting in front of me. We're going to jump into this topic right now on the Biz Talk.
Like action?
That's kind of my action,
That's
yes.
your action. Your claw.
Tracey, don't ever do that. That is... She's had a drink.
I've had half a beer.
Greg and I had a Red Bull.
Red
Tracey had a beer. Yeah, that's all it takes for you. Your tolerance is very low.
Tolerance for you is very low.
My tolerance is very low. Yeah, correct, for your behavior. So...
It's going to take more than a beer to deal with you.
So we're out here in Dubai. We've had an incredible experience today with a bunch of nail artists out in the Middle East. I was talking to them about inspiration. I got some very interesting answers, and which kind of brings me to this question for you guys, seeing that both of you are nail artists. Where does your inspiration come from when it comes to just doing nails? That's kind of where I want to go. I saw like so many different pathways today. It was crazy, actually, the answers.
Really?
Yeah, it was really crazy, the answers that I got. I was like shocked with some of them.
Interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't what you expected. Like,
What was the most surprising?
the most surprising for me was straight money. Someone like
Inspiration.
I asked, inspiration was money, and really where they're coming from was exactly was the business. It's like that's the business side for her, and she was really inspired. But I didn't expect that, and that's what drove her to create. So and that's it's different for everybody. So I'm just curious with you guys. Let's start with Greg. Where does your inspiration come from? I think a lot of people would be interested to know where your inspiration comes from when you have to create.
My inspiration, my deep inspiration is to teach people how to be successful.
Right.
So, it's funny because I had this crazy talk with a friend of ours last week about Kihun, which is like going back to the basics, karate, wax on, wax off.
One of my favorite movies of all time, dude.
You're going to wax my car?
But he was basically talking like how, certain masters always refer back to the basics. And I think my inspiration is always trying to focus on excellent fundamentals. That way I could always teach my students to strengthen those key targets, right? So that it makes them better artists. I like to be well-rounded when it comes to doing nails. So, for me to just focus on designs, I mean, you can find inspiration from many artists. I get a lot of inspiration from Tracey just because she's just so amazing with color, and,
right.
She just, she guides me in a Tracey helps me a lot when it comes to designs. But I mean, I'm always focusing on fundamentals. My inspiration is to stay strong with that so that when I teach, my students have a good foundation. And that's really where I think my strength is.
So that's kind of interesting. Like, I would say, everybody has their strengths, right? Yours is teaching, right? I mean, I think that's like your superpower. So when you get up and you have to teach a class like today of 35 students and you're up there
no sleep.
with
No
zero
sleep.
sleep, jet lagged, and they don't speak English, right? So that takes on a whole
Another
another
challenge.
challenge.
It's kind of hard to get in a flow.
Yeah.
almost.
Like, so, but where, like, what's the core of, like, you know, today I'm gonna give it like, where does that ultimately, what are you feeling? Are you just like,
So human nature, it doesn't matter where we're from. We all thrive on the same energy. And I think that when someone learns something new, you know, for me, I find inspiration on people like getting excited about discovering something new. So taking my time and explaining to them in detail. And, you know, for me today, working with a whole group of people who didn't speak English at all, I have to literally take my time, you know, basically pronounce every syllable slowly.
right?
But I find excitement on seeing them get excited.
You
Right.
feed off their energy. I would say
really-
he definitely is
I-
one
I
of those
do.
people that, yeah.
I do. I get really excited when I see them get excited.
So before you even start, do you kind of visualize? Do you kind of say to yourself, like, I want to see that, like, I feed off of that look, off of that, like, the eyes when they get it. Like, are you kind of visualizing that and, like, seeing that?
No, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I've done it so much over
Past 25
20
years.
years
Right.
that in the beginning it was tough because I was learning how to communicate with people in a room. So, I mean, you know me, I've done classes from 35 to 1,000.
Right.
I've been in front of a group of 1,000 people.
Yep, I've been there.
And, you know, it's no different, you know, to be able to engage. I mean, the only difference is when you're speaking in front of 1,000 people, your focus is the people in the front
Right.
because you can't see the people in the back.
Right. It's a sea of heads.
Correct. So, you know, if you're engaging to the people in front of you, and so in a group of 35 people, if you're engaging and you're really focusing, and I'm not talking about just constantly looking around the
Right,
room, I'm
right,
talking
right.
like staring into their soul.
Finding it.
But, you know, it's for me, you can feel them wanting to learn, wanting to engage, and I thrive off of that.
Yeah.
I you know, it's not just me sitting there and saying, okay, this is what we're gonna do, blah 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 blah. You know, that's boring. You have to look and you have to feel, and sometimes you're gonna have people. Trust me, there's people that are just going like,
Right.
you know,
Sure.
you get that. Trust me,
Right.
especially if it's been a long day. So, you know, I thrive off of trying to get them awake again.
Yeah. Yelling
Yo!
in their face.
Why is he yelling at me?
But
So ultimately, like, you really feed off of that connection. Like, you're trying to
do.
really connect
I do.
with
Everybody.
your students. Yeah, with
I do.
everybody.
And-
Exactly.
And I'm humbled. I mean, to be out here and work with people who are doing the same thing that we're doing.
Yep.
They're just in a different country and they're doing the same grind. So, I mean, it doesn't matter, you know, where you're from, you know, just because you're doing the same thing. I have total respect for that, and I'm humbled by it.
Yeah, this is really cool. It's like, I love, like, this is interesting sitting in front of you guys because you're like, what you do the same things, but you guys do different things too. So, like, when we're talking about inspiration for you, it's mostly, you know, what you do, it is teach, right? And so,
is.
like, you're looking for that, where do I draw inspiration to teach? And it's that connecting with people, which falls right in line with our company, really. Ultimately, that's what we're trying to do every single day. So that's awesome. Tracey, you have to kind of go to a different place, right? Because I'm every single day going, like, when it comes to, like, posting,
Yeah.
or when the three of us are like, okay, like, as a matter of fact, tonight, right after we do this, we need a design for a vlog.
Right.
And so it's really like, hey, what are we doing? You know, and you got to kind of dig.
Yeah.
So where do you go? Where do you go to find that?
Where do I get inspiration?
Where do you get inspiration?
I get inspiration by not wanting to be fired. So it inspires me.
Hey, you better get some inspiration?
Better get some fire. You know, I get it. I draw inspiration from a lot of different texts, just looking at other people's work, but just walking around, color speaks to me a lot. And
Right.
when I see something I like, I think I've told you before, you'll question it and I'll say, it speaks to me.
Wait, I question it?
You question me all the time, actually.
What?
Yeah.
Do I question Greg?
But that's my, like, when I really like something,
Yeah.
I say,
Yeah.
it speaks to me.
Questions
Sure.
everything. No joke.
So, yeah, color inspires me. It really
Yeah.
does. And
And-
I think music, in a sense, you know, I like music when I'm working, but color truly inspires me.
Yeah, and that flows into like your strength, right? Because I would say that's probably one of your it's one of your superpowers, if we're going to call it that, is color, you know, and then what colors go together. That's been a learning process for me to understand what colors, and I still don't, you know, it's hard.
Right.
Color
Right.
it's a very challenging thing.
Yeah,
It's very difficult.
to get colors that blend well and to do something unique. I
Okay,
think.
so you know,
It all speaks when I dress my children. My wife's like, "What are you?"
dude, I have the same problem, bro. I've got like half pajamas, half tank
I
top.
just throw
and, like,
on whatever and send them.
dude, I know.
Send it.
So, but do you when you know during the course of the week, Trace, that you have to come up, you know, you're gonna have to come up with designs. You're gonna have to like, we're gonna have to like, are you looking? You're starting with color. Is that kind of the first place that you start? Is like, okay, let me start with a palette. What's going to go together, and then from there you build.
A lot of times I build from color, but I don't probably think about the process as much as you would expect. Like if you tell me tomorrow I have to come up with a nail and I try searching right now for that nail, it's not going to work.
You work better kind of on the spot.
On the fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Got
do.
it. So, okay. So if you're going to give, like Greg, if you're going to give somebody that wants to teach, wants to be an educator, and that's their goal, to find inspiration, what would be one piece of advice you would give them to tap into that inspiration to teach consistently every single time?
You have to have patience to deal with people who are going to work slower than others. You have to get excited at seeing progress. You have to be excited about working with basics, good fundamentals, you know, and if you strengthen those foundations and you're excited to see people get better, I think that you will definitely make a good teacher. I think most good teachers, good instructors, you know, are, you know, they get excited when their students do well. For me, it's, you know, it's teaching people how to communicate better. I mean, communication is a really, really big thing. Being patient, you know, because you're going to deal with people who are going to, obviously, they're not going to get it right off the bat.
Right.
You might have to try like 4 or 5 different things.
Right.
One way is not always the right way.
Except unless it's my way.
Unless it's Habib's way. Well, let me ask you a question. Like, where do you drive inspiration? What drives inspiration for you, bro?
For me,
What's that?
I inspire you.
Tracy is the inspiration for my life.
I've been Habib's inspiration his whole life.
Now that I know is wrong.
Yeah, I think for me, like, it's a, sometimes it requires, I have to go find it, like tonight, for example, where it's been a long day, but it's the, I do think about the big picture. Like I really when I'm really exhausted and tired and all I want to do is go to sleep.
We just had this conversation.
We were just having this yeah, we were literally
are fried.
We're fried. And there's a bigger picture, you know, and for me, I visualize, you know, where I see the company. And so all these little steps are so important in that big picture. So I really look at it and go, this one night is just as important as any other, major event in our business.
sure.
It's just as important to me as like landing a major account.
Right.
This one little step. So when I put that much importance to it, it's like, okay, let's go. I'm ready. I want to do this because I put everything I've got
It's
into
weird
this.
because actually, like, I'm wide awake right now.
I am too. I know. I feel wired, dude. I think it's that
Sugar
Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Red Bull.
But that's kind of the inspiration to do what you do, right?
Right.
But like when you want to get in the mode and get in the groove, what do you turn to for inspiration? What drives that creative?
Yeah, music.
Music
is
yeah, for sure.
for sure.
Definitely is you.
Yeah, that's 100% for me. So like when I'm editing the vlogs, right? Sometimes I'll get into a rut where I'm like, I can't put this story together. I can't cut this. Then what I'll do is I'll put it aside and I go right to the music and I start listening to stuff and something will drop and I'll be like, I just get so excited.
Yeah.
And then I'm in there and I'm cutting it and then I'll take a break and like I'll go get, a coffee, but I'm excited again. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be like, I'm enjoying this now, but it's music for me for sure. That helps me tap into it. 100%. So what would be one piece of advice that you would give, Trace, like to somebody like that's on the color or that's got to pump out designs? What would you say?
I think I would say go with it because in the beginning I had a hard time. Not that I didn't trust myself. I was always so afraid of what other people would say. Like, oh, you like that? Or, you think that's good. But just trust your gut and try it.
Yeah.
And maybe it won't work. Maybe it won't work that time, but you just got to follow it through and trust yourself more than the noise around you.
Yeah, that's good.
It's good advice.
Yeah. So I like that. Patience from Greg, trusting your gut from Trace. And with me, I think I would say if there's something that kind of gets you going, tap into that every time. And that's what I do. For me, it is that music where it's like if I get in a rut, I know I can depend on music. I can go to it. And if there's a song that I know will get me going, I'll turn that song on to get kind of the juices flowing. So it's kind of cool. 3 different takes, 3 different angles here.
Color, music,
Patience. 3 different ways from 3 different individuals here we all have expertise in different areas. We hope you enjoyed this episode on finding that inspiration, and we'll see you next week on the Biz Talk.